So when we first decided we were going to go to a new design templates and a new CMS, we knew that we'd have a challenge in moving the content from the old sites and content management system to the new system. And we tried to do everything we could to make it an easy transition for you. We started out by mapping how the different content areas of the old layout correlate to the content areas on the new layout. We took into consideration the width of the respective columns and tried to keep the main content in the main column. Sometimes that meant changing the order of the columns. So if something was in the left column before, it might be in the right column now, but that's just because it visually made more sense to do it that way. OmniUpdate provided us with a migration tool that uses the column mapping information to take a website from the current web CMS and build a set of web pages that can be imported directly into OU Campus. The way the navigation works in the new templates is slightly different from the old ones, so the migration tool generated the new navigation as well. The sites where we had the most success in migrating content were those that used just the basic web CMS features. Other sites will require a little more cleanup, but at least you don't have to start from scratch. And unfortunately, it did only work with the sites that were in web CMS. People who had their own servers like housing will have to just create new pages and maybe copy and paste the content from their current sites. The problems that we found that will have to be cleaned up are that the migration tool expects each web page to consist of a folder with one index.html page in it. If it didn't find an index.html page, or it finds something else like staff.html or fall syllabus.html, that didn't work as well. So those might need to be cleaned up. If someone was using, for example, a /images folder for their pictures instead of the default /pics folder, we'll have to clean that up for you too. You'll have to possibly resize or replace some images because the new template columns are different width. So you might need to replace an image with a wider one or a narrower one. The secondary navigation link text will also need to be cleaned up. OU Campus uses the page titles for the top navigation, but it wasn't able to do the same thing for the drop-down navigation lists and the right column navigation. In those cases, it uses the directory name. So what you'll have to do is edit the sidenav.inc file for those pages to give that link text a more friendly name. WebCMS 7 had a feature called Global Container that allowed content to be placed on multiple pages but edited in just one place. OU Campus has a similar feature, but we weren't able to seamlessly migrate from one to the other. We were able to migrate the content, but we had to put it on each page separately as static text. So we'll come up with a way of telling you how to make that into something that can be edited in just one place and then automatically be updated on every page where it's used. All of the pages on every site were migrated, including into the navigation. Even pages that had been hidden before or were test pages that weren't meant to be seen by anyone. So if there are any of those in your site, you can just go and delete them or remove them from the navigation. If you have questions about any of this or need help with something specific on your site, the best way to do that is to open an iSupport ticket at www.sjsu.edu/webservices/support. That way that goes into a queue that any of us in web services can see. So if you send email to one particular person, maybe that person's out sick or on vacation. So the best way to do that is through iSupport. And then we're going to be working on an FAQ that goes into more detail about how to handle these various issues, and that'll be at the URL on the slide. It's kind of long, but there's not much there right now, but we will be filling that out later.